Hi aspirants. In this model, we will understand the process of copyright registration in India in detail. How to register copyright for your creative work. That we are going to discuss in this model. Before discuss the registration process in detail, few points we are going to see the Copyright Act history. The Copyright Act 1957 came into effect from January 1958. The Copyright Act amended 5 times: 1983, 84, 92, 94, 99, and 2012. The Copyright Amendments Act 2012 is the most significant part. Why the Copyright Act 2012 amendments are important? Because in Copyright Act 2012 amendments, the Act talks about the protection of music and film industry and address its concerns. It addresses the concerns of the physically disabled. It also talks about the protection of the interest of the author of any work. It addresses the extension of copyright protection in the digital environment. It also discusses the penalties for circumvention of technological protection measures and right management information. It discusses the liability of internet service provider. The amendments of Copyright Act 2012 talks about broadcasting organizations ensuring right to receive royalties for authors and music composers, exclusive economic and moral rights to performers, equal membership rights in copyright societies for authors and other right owners. So these are the important amendments were introduced in Copyright Act 2012. Copyright Office maintain copyright registers. The register of copyright shall be kept in physical form or electronic form in 6 parts. Each part refers to a particular creative work. Like example, part 1, literary works other than computer programs, tables, and compilations, including computer databases and dramatic works. Part 2, musical works. Part 3, artistic works. Part 4, cinematograph films. Part 5, sound recordings. Part 6, computer programs. So if you want to have any information relates to sound recordings, copyright work, then you can refer part 5 of copyright register. If you want to have any information relates to musical works, the information will be there in part 2 of copyright register. As we discussed before, the legal protection for every type of IPR work is for a limited period of time. Then what is the duration or term of copyright? In the case of published literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic work, the duration of copyright is the lifetime of the author or artist and 60 years counted from the year following the death of the author. In the case of cinematograph films, sound recording, photographs, posthumous publications, anonymous publications, and pseudonymous publications, work of government and works of international organizations, works of public undertakings. So they are protected for a period of 60 years, which is counted from the year following the date of publication. Now we are going to discuss how to register copyright of your creative work. The first step is filing the application. There are two forms are available, Form 14 and Form 15. Form 14 is for registration of copyright. Every application for registration of copyright shall be made in Form 14. Form 15 is for registration of changes. If you want to make any changes in the particulars of copyright, then that application shall be made in Form 15. Once this application is filed, a diary number is generated and issued to the applicant. Every application should be signed only by the applicant. Applicant may be an author or may be an owner of the right. In the previous module, we discussed the term author and the owner. If the application is submitted by the owner of the copyright, then the application shall be enclosed with an original copy of No Objection Certificate (NOC) issued by the author in his favor. Who can apply for a copyrights? The author or creator of the work can apply. The owner of the work can apply. As we discussed before, who is the owner? Any person claiming to have obtained the ownership rights from the creator or author of the original work. They can apply. An agent who has been authorized to act on behalf of either the author or the owner of the work. So they can also apply for a copyrights. What are the documents we need to be submitted with the application? For the registration of an unpublished work, then 2 copies of the work need to be submitted with the application. For a computer program, at least first 10 and last 10 pages of source code or the entire source code if less than 20 pages with no blocked out or redacted portions. So it should be submitted with the application. An artistic work in relation to any goods or services, a statement to that effect, a certificate from the register of trademark that need to be submitted with the application. Every such application, Form 14 with the particular documents can be filed in the Copyright Office by person or by post or by online filing facility as provided on the website of the Copyright Office. The second step is examination. The examiner scrutinizes the copyright application. He will examine whether the application has been filed as per the prescribed manner or not. If he finds any discrepancy, then a letter of discrepancy is sent to the applicant. During the process of copyright registration, there is a chance that the copyright application may be met with objections by the register. So copyright objection is the objection raised by the register of a copyright office. An objection may rise for various reasons, as if there are similarities found in the application and existence of similar work. The copyright objection may rise any time from 30 days of the filing of copyright application. If the Register of Copyright receives any objections, then they enter such particulars of work in the Register of Copyrights if necessary. Register shall give an opportunity of hearing before rejecting any application. Hearing will be conducted regarding the alleged discrepancy. Once the discrepancies are sorted out, the application is sent to register. The process of registration is deemed to be completed only when a copy of the entries made in the Register of Copyright is signed and issued by Register of Copyrights or by Deputy Register of Copyrights to whom such authority is delegated. So, when a copy of the entries made in the Register of Copyright that should be signed and issued by Register of Copyrights or by Deputy Register of Copyrights to whom such authority is delegated, then only the process of registration is deemed to be completed. The present slide shows the first schedule of Copyright Act 1957, the number of forms and the description of forms. Herewith we can see form number 14 for application for registration of copyright, form number 15 application for registration of changes in the particulars of copyright entered in the Register of Copyrights. The present slide shows the detailed fee structure for copyrights. For an application for registration of a copyright in respect of literary, dramatic, musical or artistic work, 500 rupees per work. For artistic work, it is relates to goods or services, then it is 2000 rupees per work. For a license to republish a cinematograph film, 15,000 per work. For a license to communicate any work to the public by broadcast, 40,000 rupees per work. For a license to republish a sound recording, 10,000 rupees per work. For a license to perform any work in public, 5,000 rupees per work. For an application for registration of copyright in a cinematograph film, 5,000 rupees per work. For an application for registration of copyright in a sound recording, 2000 rupees per work. For an application for change in particulars of copyright in respect of literary, dramatic, musical or artistic work, 200 rupees per work. For any changes in cinematograph film, 2000 rupees per work. If any changes relates to sound recording, 1000 rupees per work. Application for registration of a copyright are to be made via Form 14. The form must be attached with statement of particulars and statement of further particulars. Each type of creative work requires a separate registration. Each work registration must be sent along with the pre-request fee attached to it. The applicant must duly sign all applications. In case the applicant cannot sign the document, then a power of attorney signed by the applicant and verified by a lawyer must be sent along with the application. In that application, we need to provide the details of name, address, and nationality of the applicant, nature of the applicant's interest in the copyright of the work, class and description of the work, title and language of the work. If the author is deceased, then the date of decease, name, address, and nationality of the author, whether the work is published or unpublished, year and country of first publication and name, address and nationality of the publishers. So this many details need to be provided in this Form 14. If the work is an artistic work, then the location of the original work, including name, address, and nationality of the person in possession of the work. If the artistic work relates to goods and services, then the application shall include a certificate from the Register of Trademarks. If the work is an artistic work, whether it is registered under the Design Act 2000 or not, if yes, any details. If the artistic work capable of being registered as a design under Design Act 2000, whether it has been applied to an article through an industrial process or not. If yes, the number of times it is reproduced. So this many details need to be provided in Form 14. So as we discussed before with Form 14, we need to submit statement of further particulars. Is the work to be registered? It is an original work, translation of a work in the public domain, a translation of a work in which copyright subsists, an adaptation of work in the public domain, an adaptation of work in which copyright subsists. If the work is a translation or adaptation of a work in which the copyright subsists, then we need to give all the particulars about the original work, title, language, name, address, and nationality of the author of the original work. If the author is deceased, the date of decease, name, address, nationality of the publisher, if any of the original work, particulars of the authorization for a translation or adaptation, including the name, address, and nationality of the party authorizing. This many details we need to be provided in Form 14 for the work relates to a translation or adaptation of a work. So aspirants, in this 2 module, we have thoroughly discussed about the copyright, type of creative works, prescribed fee, prescribed forms, registration process, examination objection process, statement of particulars need to be submitted with the forms, the term of the copyright. I hope this many details will be definitely helpful when you register your creative work under copyright. Thank you so much.